Well, actually, my lawyer's going to talk about it or talk to them, but it's a big company. They want to offer a lot of money to. And this is mostly for black creators because I don't know if white creators be even giving a fuck what we do, but when you're a black creator and you know sometimes there's a ceiling above you because you're black, not everybody could compete with a Joe Rogan. I've always said there's no black podcaster that can compete with Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's white. He's going to tap into a different part of America that we can't tap into. It's very fortunate that when you have somebody like Kai, who becomes almost damn near the biggest streamer on Twitch, because he is a black individual. So let me explain the business and everything. So 3 years ago, 4 years ago, all these companies said podcast is the wave. You get little amount of investment and you could get a lot of return. In reality, for me to shoot an hour long, and I'm giving you real prices. So if I was going to get a production company to shoot a scripted show, or even if it was unscripted, but I was going to get a high level production, that could cost up to like maybe $20,000, okay, for an episode, okay? Maybe I get it for 10, but I'm gonna get I got my PAs, my DPs, I got my camera operators, I got my editors, I got all these type of people who are working on whatever. You got to get talent. It's a lot. It could become a lot. So what ended up happening previously is that for regular TV, where you had to spend so much money to create a product, it became, okay, all right, if we, it's all about profit. Like, for example, I see people talking about the new Spider-Verse movie, or they're talking about like, what do you call this shit again? With that young woman, Halle Bailey, the mermaid shit. Yeah, the shit made like $180 million, but like they spent like 150, but then they probably spent another 100 on promo. So again, in movies, they spend a lot. So you have to make usually 4 times what that budget is for it to even make sense, or at least twice. You get what I mean? So like for that movie that Halle Bailey was in, they probably spent like $250 million in promo and making a movie and paying everybody, doing all that shit. They want at least $500 million back. You get what I mean? Now, again, just think business minded and fuck with me a little bit. If I invest $10. If I make $20, that's good. Especially if it's reasonably quick, right? With a movie, these movies are commissioned for 2 to 3 years. You got to get people scheduled, you got to edit, you got to promote, you got to wait for time to recoup. So you invest, say, $250 million, hoping that you're going to make at least $500 million, and you're hoping, and this is a 3-year bet. The reason why things like podcasts start eclipsing TV is not only because viewership was going there, it's because it was easy to produce. Remember, as I said, like I remember working at Complex, and they told me, because I had a profit share with them, they told me that it cost $2 million to produce off Everyday Struggle. So they're paying me, Wayno, Nadeska. They're paying for the production staff, editors. They're paying for what they claim is promo. It's not working, but whatever. It cost $2 million just to produce the show. How much do they want to make? They wanted Everyday Struggle to make at least $5 million. Now, here's the thing. How are they going to make the $5 million? Is it just going to be off YouTube revenue? No. Like YouTube revenue at that time, there was an apocalypse. It sucked. They probably were making like, I don't know, truth be told, maybe like $5,600,000 off YouTube. I'm giving you wrong. I never actually, well, it's in my audit report there, but I could probably find, but I'm just guessing. The majority of it was supposed to be made from their own network and also them selling ads. Now, I'm going to get to somewhere, but I'm talking high level business with people. This is the reason why, like, it's not, when you compare me to the little niggas, these little niggas are trying to figure out how to get on. I'm trying to figure out how to get that $100 million bag. You get what I mean? And not $100 million bag from one person, but you have to figure out how the market is going. So I'm only explaining business right here, and I hope I don't get you lost. So cool. Eventually, basically, Complex said that Everyday Struggle was a loss. It was a loss, but it was a brand. It helped the brand. So they were building the brand, and this happens a lot because I do it too. Because while building my brand, even when I was thinking about undertaking a Selena podcast, I was down to lose money to make the brand of academics bigger than just my voice. That happens a lot. So that was Everyday Struggle, right? They weren't doing a good job of selling ads. Like, I drank liquor every day. They couldn't get a liquor sponsorship. Joe used to do certain shit. Wayno used to wear sneakers. They couldn't get fucking Puma or Nike to commit to anything more than like 2 months. So they weren't doing a good job of like supplementing the content with appropriate advertising to make it make sense, to make it be profitable. Back when me and Joe was on it, you could ask Joe. Joe's talked about it before. They used to say, well, hard to sell to advertisers because Ack and Joe keep cursing. We were down to stop cursing. We even said to the editors, you edit out the fucking curses. Go get the fucking money. We're not doing this shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, I say that to say you have to realize where content is going to. So, shift the podcast. And by the way, I'm really well timed and shit because I have to stay on top of shit when I'm moving. After Everyday Struggle, have you seen a show like Everyday Struggle? No. I'll tell you why you haven't seen it. Because there was a shift. Joe Budden left Complex after there was a gripe about Spotify paying about $800,000 for about 6 episodes of Everyday Struggle. From those 6 episodes, which they paid $800,000, they wanted to give Joe $50,000, me $50,000. Joe felt disrespected because it was an additional show that's not in our contract. So essentially, Complex was going to take home $700,000 and we get $100,000. He felt they're pimping us reasonably. Okay. What ended up happening was something that I give Joe all the credit in the world for. He saw that ad companies wanted, because even when even in like the deal that they did, Joe had this thing called Sleeper on his podcast, and they wanted us to do it was like in a coded way, Sleeper. And Joe said, I don't like that. I think this company wants to work with me, but you're a broker in terms of Complex because they want my Sleeper segment. So they just asked it a different way. So I'm giving sleepers on this show and you ain't giving me nothing for it. Joe stood on his business. He left. Cool. Joe left, stayed there for a bit. But Joe went crazy with his podcast. He signed to Spotify. That was around the time that content was changing. Because at that point, I'm now a partner with Complex for Everyday Struggle. Joe's no longer there. And I know the story seems long, but if you follow business, you're going to understand everything I'm saying up until Twitch. By the way, back then, Twitch is being clowned. Right? Everybody said, oh, this geek shit, Twitch, whatever. Joe goes on to Spotify, right? Remember, they wanted 6 shows, right, for $800,000. Friday shows. They were going to give Joe $50,000, me $50,000. I think it wasn't per show. It was just overall. Joe leaves, signs reportedly nearly a $3 million deal straight with Spotify. So he leaves Complex. Keep in mind, me and Joe were not getting $1 million at Complex. Joe says, well, if y'all going to be a broker, what the fuck? I'll work with the guy who's the sponsor himself. I'll just go bring my podcast there and I'll get more money. I reportedly got like $2-3 million. Cool. Why did that cause a change? And why was that a signal of a change in the entire media ecosphere? I'll tell you why. This was a change because Spotify, in doing their deal with Complex, they said, we're giving you $800,000 for 6 episodes. Why are we doing that? You're telling us it's so expensive to produce Everyday Struggle. So we have to give you $800,000 for 6 episodes. They said, wait, how about we just quadruple that money, right? But instead of 24 episodes, we could just sign Joe Budden directly and we could get him to do 2 years. Financial sense, makes sense. They signed Joe. Perfect. This goes on. Joe is now making more money ever made than Complex. Spotify is happier because they're saying we're paying, just comparatively, they're paying less for more, right? Because if you extrapolated how many podcasts Joe was given compared to what they would have paid if Joe just stayed at Complex and they were paying as a third-party buyer, whatever. Who? Joe, for whatever reason, says he's going to leave. He feel like he could do that independently. By the way, at that time, the adpocalypse was starting to lift. Also, people are starting to look into pay directly to the creator models. I get to deal with Spotify at that point too. So now I got to deal with Spotify. And I'm telling you where the new meta is. This is what I've been telling all my fellow creators, because there's no bad blood with me and them. In the last year or so, every podcast metric and every podcast entity who have done podcast deals has signaled that they are done investing in new shit. They're done throwing money at the wall, hoping it sticks. So when you hear like some of these deals before, this person getting 20 million, 30 million, all of these companies, whether Spotify, whether Stitcher, whether even Barstools, everybody is stopping. So where is the money going? Because money's always going in this space. Remember, I'm doing the math with y'all. I'm giving y'all the whole sequence of events. Companies find a way how to better spend their money each time. Spotify realized rather than paying Complex to have access to Joe Budden and academics, I'll just pay Joe Budden directly and then later academics directly, which would be way less than we would pay Complex just to get access to them. Bingo. Cool. Here's the new thing. It's streaming. I've told people in the next 2 years, it's going to be the highlight of streaming. Listen, Chad, they might say a lot of shit about me, but I definitely ain't dumb. It's the reason I told you I'm going to be streaming 200 days this year. But 2 years ago, I didn't give two fucks about streaming. I see where the market's at. The market's at streaming this year. I signed a deal recently with Rumble because Twitch is in turmoil. And I'm going to explain to you Twitch's situation because here's the thing. Let me give you the advantages of Twitch versus a podcast. Live streaming became more appealing than even a podcast because of this reason. A podcast might be 2 times a week, 2 hours. Usually it's 1 time a week, 2 hours. Somebody who's streaming usually streams at least for 3 to 4 hours. And they usually stream 3 times a week, at least. Because of that, for somebody who's making an investment, they're now doing deals directly with the streamers. After they've seen that numbers are coming from streamers who are pulling numbers, like, for example, Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross. Fuck these other ways of doing stuff. There's zero production value. Remember, Everyday Struggle said it needed $2 million a year to make. How much you think it costs for me to stream? My internet bill, which is probably like, I don't know, maybe like $2,000, $3,000 a year in my Henny supply. That's it. I got some cameras, but it's not too much. It's easier. So when a company looks at it to say, if we don't have to manage your overhead, we could give you more cash in hand and we could still extract value because you're still bringing in the views. So it's been all about streaming in the last 2-3 years. Very interesting timing because Twitch is going through something that's very unprecedented. Twitch is owned by Amazon, if you don't know. They were always supported and believed to be the next frontier of streaming. Twitch was just in TV before. It got acquired by Amazon, turned to Twitch. And, Amazon is giving a lot of, benefits to people to pay attention to Twitch. Like, for example, I think it still exists now. I've heard rumors it might go away. If you have Amazon Prime, you could get a free subscription in here. You could redeem your Amazon Prime for a free subscription in here, right? It's been a good thing for a while. However, here's the thing. In the last 2 to 3 years, Amazon basically, who usually don't give a fuck about making money, because if you don't know the Amazon's game, their business in them as a storefront and them doing Amazon Prime with you, they'll sacrifice profit just to be the biggest store because other parts of their business makes a lot of money. For example, Amazon AWS, which is their cloud services. So they do web and cloud services for so many people, including Twitch and even Kick. And I'm going to get to that. I might be losing some of y'all here, but we're early in the day, and listen, y'all got 6 more hours of me, so don't even trip. I like to explain shit that people get it. Amazon has been kind of looking at Twitch in the last couple of years to say, what have you done? Remember I told you I had a deal with Twitch? I told you Twitch signed me for the deal, and once they got what they needed out of the deal, they didn't re-up. What they needed, they had to pay money out to the music industry that people could stream music on Twitch. Now, you're probably thinking Twitch is mad profitable. They're making a dumb amount of money. They are, but they're not profiting mad amount of money. Now, granted, keep in mind everything I've said. It's not like they got to pay the creator a wild amount of money. They used to have a 70-30 split, which was okay. But what happens is we get to find out the one major underlying problem with live streaming. And we're going to see this everywhere. I'm going to be honest with you. This is why I said this. I'm giving live streaming 2 years. Then the meta goes somewhere else. If you want to follow the money, follow Big Ack. Big Ack is always in the bank. I'm going to tell you why I say 2 years. Because Twitch, it took them about 5-6 years for them to get to this point. Everybody else got new money. They haven't lost it yet. The thing nobody has figured out is what Twitch is hurting for. Amazon's looking at them to say, y'all not profiting. Why aren't they profiting? It's the most expensive form of content streaming on the server side. So while they don't have to pay, like it's cheap for me to stream. When they have to deliver this stream to 5,000 people on Twitch, or they got to deliver Kai Cenat's stream to 50,000 people, or somebody gave me a number. They said an average cost that a server, like that a hosting company, like say Twitch or Kick, has to pay when you have 50,000 people for 6-7 hours. The cost that they have to pay to their server farms that's supporting the stream and serving it to everybody is about $20,000. So that's their cost. Now I'm explaining this whole thing to y'all because I have to tell you why Twitch is acting like this. Now Twitch is horrible in the sense of not understanding and not being like, they don't communicate with the creators. You know, listen,
yo,
everything
Twitch
life
is
is about
done,
balance.
dude.
But if you treated people like replaceable commodities and treated them like shit, when you keep treating them like shit when options exist, they're gonna start leaving. If they had somebody like an Elon Musk, even you got to think whatever about Elon Musk. If they had somebody who could just kind of explain shit to people, like, yo, this is why we're doing this. This is what's happening. This is how we're balancing. Let's be transparent. Right now, Twitch looks super greedy, but they're not really super greedy. They're just really fucked. Twitch had to get rid of 70-30 deals. I had a really good deal. I don't want to mention it. I don't know if they'll penalize me if I do mention it. But when I had a really good deal with them, they made an announcement saying all those deals are done after a certain point. Or if you had one at a certain point, after you make $100,000, it goes to 50-50. Now, granted, YouTube does 55-45. Now, the 70-30 used to be attractive for Twitch. This is why people are like, yo, Twitch is dope. They've realized that they're losing on the revenue table because the more people who watch Kai, Speed, XQC, Hasanabi, and all these other big streamers, they have to pay a lot of money. And here's a fucked up thing. The person they're paying the money for their servers and bandwidth to be hosted on is Amazon, which is their parent company. Amazon never gave a fuck till now because Amazon is analyzing Twitch and starting to think, is this one of the commodities that we should invest more in? Because you got to remember, Twitch essentially competes with YouTube. YouTube, this is the behemoth. You get what I mean? So this is where we're at. And I'm sorry I went through this whole big I'm sorry I went through this whole big explanation, but I got to give you the business explanation of why everybody keeps saying Twitch doesn't hate the creators. They just don't know how to talk to the creators because they've been used to acting like the creators ain't shit. But now, when you're acting against the creators are turning on you. So, let me tell you their new thing, right? So, they got, they try to put in a new rule. And it says on July 6th, popular streaming service Twitch rolled out a set of new advertisement rules that spell troubles for streaming large and small. The rules are directly related to brand content streamers to branded content streamers add into their streams, which are crucial for revenue to certain creators. And the new rules could very well mean major consequences for their favorite streamers. Okay, here were the rules they're trying to put in. On-stream logos are limited to 3% of the size of the screen. So what does that mean? Let me go back, sorry. That means that, I don't know, say Gatorade. You know what I mean? I have a relationship with Gatorade. Say Gatorade, say act. Oh, you fucking stream. How many people you get? Yo, we want to put just the Gatorade logo over there. So they want to put the Gatorade logo like on the right side of the screen, like over here, right? Theoretically, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like, all right, we could do a deal, blah, blah, leave it up there, blah, blah. Twitch is now upset about this. The reason why is they're desperate to make more revenue. Everything in life is about increasing revenue, usually for these big companies. So they've been thinking how they've been losing revenue. They can't do any worse on delivering bandwidth or hosting the live streams, because if this shit got laggy because they're trying to save money, you wouldn't come to Twitch. So they can't cut costs there. So that is what it is. So they're thinking about how they could do it more. Here's one thing they've done previously. They now, listen, remember when I had to deal with them? They pretty much told me, listen, we gonna just throw ads in your bitch. Because I wasn't running ads at first. Remember, I used to never run ads. They just have some shit in my dashboard. It runs ads automatically. So that's what one thing they've done, because they realized a lot of streamers never ran ads for people who didn't sub. Now, for the people who did sub with Amazon Prime, I hear that might go away soon. I don't know if that's true. However, the way they sell ads and try to make more money is they use the top streamers. That's what I was telling Aiden, that's why he got banned. You can't, like, if you're one of the top streamers and you're promoting Kick, or you're just leaving your screen on Kick and you have like a chat that's talking about another website, that's not going to be beneficial to them to selling ads. So what they have done, because I'm pretty sure they're getting pushback from advertisers to say, how do you want us to give you $10 million for this when your top streamer is representing Powerade, Nike, Spotify, FanDuel? Like, they got all these logos in their shit, just like how you see logos on the fucking court or on the jerseys for basketball players. So they basically said, all right, cool. Your stream logos has to be 3% of the screen size. And it's not, I don't think it's just stream logos. I think it's stream logos that's branded. Burned in video ads are not allowed. Burned in display ads are not allowed. Basically saying nobody can sell ads on a Twitch stream but them. All right. Let me try to explain where they're fucking up. And I understand, I'm being very fair because I'm explaining to you why they felt they had to do this. The problem they had is this, and I'm going to use my deal at Rumble as an example. The CEO at Rumble texted me and said, hey, listen, we talked to a bunch of partners. Manscaped said they want to do some shit with you, Ack. Yo, we're going to send some shit to your house, whatever. If you like it, let us know. If it's cool, we want you to have a relationship with them. Obviously, this is because you're on Rumble. It all filters through Rumble. But we are here to involve you in our deals with these people. We know you're a good partner. And this is the big problem that Twitch is facing. They don't talk to their creators. They treat them like shit. They treat them like non-humans. I'm pretty sure if you went to XQC and say, hey, listen, we have like a $2 million partnership from Beats headphones. Hey, could we do something where, okay, we'll give you $1 million. However, for the next year, you only have to wear Beats headphones. You think that nigga wouldn't do it? Of course he would do it. But Twitch doesn't talk to its creators. They ban you. You do some shit, they ban you without telling you. They don't give a fuck. They have been acting like they're Hitler for the longest. So they do whatever the fuck they want. However, that's not how most places work. When you are a company and you need those creators, rather than coming with weird ass lingo like this, hey, your on-screen loads can't be that. Go to your top creators, work with them and be like, yo, listen, not gonna lie, McDonald's wants to fucking sponsor us for your channel. They got $3 million. We're gonna give you this motherfucking cut. But bro, you can't have nothing but McDonald's on your screen. Are you down to do it? If not, we're gonna go to this other creator. I'm pretty sure the people on Twitch want to make money. Of course they would do it, but Twitch doesn't talk. Bro, when you hear Kai and you hear these guys saying they get banned with no communication, they don't talk to them. How are the face of your platform, the people who you're selling ads against, your enemy? It doesn't work. So again, I want to use my situation with Rumble to say that's how it should work. Y'all should go to them and be like, yo, hey, listen. And I'm pretty sure it's happened in the past because I've seen, what's that guy's name? Nick Merckx one time. There was some cooperation or a deal with NFL. He streamed NFL on here. And it was like some shit. It was like certain games and shit like that. I'm pretty sure Twitch was probably involved. But you have to do it on a bigger level for most creators, not just the ones you prefer. That's another thing Twitch has been getting flack for. Hey, if it's a Hasanabi or Pokemon, oh, y'all love them. But if it's Aiden and Kai, y'all don't fuck with them. So it becomes you only communicate with the people you like and the other people you don't like. You put down these rules that is kind of confusing. So we are here now. I feel like I did a long explanation, but I had to kind of give what is really going on. Twitch essentially is trying to make more money. Obviously, when it comes to somebody like Kai or Aiden, they used to have exclusive deals. Twitch basically said, fuck the exclusive deals. We're already big. It's time to just extract money. And I've always told you when a company's in money-making mode, i.e. Atlantic Records, they need to just make money. They're not going to spend money no more. So Twitch, they're not trying to spend money, which means like Kai just broke the streaming record. They could have been like, yo, let's give him a deal, which is an investment in keeping him here, which more people will come here and later get an influence maybe near to his. They're not offering him barely shit. Like, I've heard some stuff. I don't want to ruin it because I think he cares about people discussing his business. And I don't want to step on his toes neither. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. They're barely offering him shit. Then you get a company like Kick. Now, here's the thing. And this is why I say it's going to be 2 years for live streaming. 2 or 3. Kick is all gambling money. They have a lot of it. Reportedly, Drake got like $180 million and he owns percentage of it. Aiden owns percentage of Kick. Okay? No, actually, no. I think Drake might have owned a percentage of Stake. But obviously, Stake owns Kick. Aiden owns parts of Kick. Trainwreck owns parts of Kick. And they're both getting wild amount of money. Like, they're getting NBA super duper stardom salary money. You get what I mean?
Damn, these niggas are getting LeBron.
Here's the thing. Even if you have all the money in the world, you're not the U.S. Treasury and you're definitely not Apple. I think there was a report that said Apple had more money than the U.S. Treasury. Money will run out. This is why I say 2 years for especially Kick. If you're a top creator like Bruce, which he already signed to Kick, Rage better sign his deal soon. Go get your money now. And by the way, to other creators who are not, like, if you even have any slight interest by these companies, jump on it. Because what's going to happen is the more traffic that goes to Kick, the more money they got to spend to support it. So right now they're acquiring talent, but anything they give Bruce, they got to think about double that money for the money that they have to spend to pay for the servers that Bruce is going to bring new people to that they got to get serviced by. So again, people haven't figured out live stream yet. They haven't figured out the real winning formula. Why? It is expensive. It's the most expensive thing to stream in real time video on demand. YouTube could compete because their whole platform is already video. They've made so much money. So they don't give a fuck about some YouTube lives. They don't care about that. Like, YouTube is a company that they have, I think, I forgot what the number is, like 4 or 5 billion users. In comparison, Rumble has 80 million. 4 billion, 80 million. Kick probably got less than 20 million. So again, as they ramp up, the money gets the money they got to spend to keep their servers going becomes so much. Could they still give out these multi-million-dollar deals? What happens to Kick if Kick can't give out a multi-million-dollar deal 2 years from now because they got a good user base, but they don't need to do it no more? They're going to stop, right? Then people might be like, well, since y'all are now trying to be more profitable now and y'all are doing, anytime you talk about an ad-supported website always comes with these things that I'm telling you right here. Because advertisers are going to say, yeah, I don't want to advertise even on Aiden's channel because Aiden's promoting 5 different things and he's promoting gambling.